Hi, I'm Sam of Stitchy Sam here on FlossTube, but also on Instagram. Welcome to my channel, or indeed welcome back to those lovely people who have returned for more stitching chat. My channel is mainly about cross stitching, and I have many whips to show you today. That's work in progress, but I also have a finish. I know that elusive finish, which I never seem to have, and it is a long-standing project and one of my March Madness contenders, and indeed the winner of the whole competition. So I'll come back to that in a minute, but I do have a giveaway winner to announce. I've got on my iPad here, I've set up a wheel with all the lovely people. I'm going to have to do it at an angle because of the reflection. I'm in my conservatory today, not quite as bright as it's been the last couple of days here in the UK, but hopefully you can see that okay. So here we go, spin the wheel. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, technology. But anyway, the winner is Catmon Crafts Everything. Hope you can see that. Yeah, so it did spin the wheel. Yeah, so Catmon Crafts Everything. If you could get in touch with me either by email, which I'll list below, or by Instagram, and let me know where you would like your £10 gift voucher from, and I'll arrange for you to have that sent to your inbox very, very soon. I do love doing the giveaways, and I'm going to be doing more on a fairly regular basis, and possibly some physical things, because I am sorting out all of my stash, my collection of items. I'm just trying to be realistic on what I'm actually going to get around to stitching or making, because I do other crafts as well as cross stitching, although not as much as I used to. So the next thing I want to show you is my finish. Now my finish, made to create, which is a caterpillar cross stitch design. It's all blurred out because it was a stitch along back in 2015, and I started this on the 25th. I'm just going to refer to my notes. 25th of January 2021, and I finished it on 19th of April 2026. So I've not ironed it. I only really iron my finished pieces once I come to fully finish them. So here it is. I know that it was very popular when I did my March Stitchy Madness, and actually it stitched up really quite quickly. So see if I can get this in the frame. So there you go, made to create. Now this is stitched on 28 count linen, provided by the kit from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which was a Christmas present. It's quite a small piece of linen, and I was worried about it. I didn't stitch the border because it wasn't to my taste, but it did stitch up really quickly, even though this palette just proved that I can't count. But I think that's common with cross stitches. Counting up to 10 is sometimes really impossible. And the linen, it was difficult because some of the weave was sort of like irregular, so sometimes it was difficult to count. But I'm really, really pleased with how it looks when it's finished. But the March Stitchy Madness month really got me to fall back in love with this design and to get it finished, and I've got the buzz for it. So I'll come on to my plans towards the end, but I'm hoping to get some more finishes very, very soon. So watch this space. Come back for my May update. So I'm just going to pop this back in the bag. I'm surprised how quiet it is. My son is playing FIFA on his Switch, and usually he's yelling about who scored what goals, but it's very, very quiet here today. So my next one is a sale which I'm currently taking part in. I am massively behind because of my March Stitchy madness, but this is from Melika Design, sorry, and basically you get one part each 2 weeks or fortnight, as we say in the UK, and it's on 14 count white Ada. This came in the material pack, and I believe it's DMC threads, so that's 2/1. And the needle minder is also from Melika Designs, and it's just a cute little bee there. We now know that, well, this is part 3, and then part 4, 5 and 6 up here. So parts 4 and 5 have now been released as well, and I think part 6 gets released this Wednesday. I'm obviously not going to be able to catch up to that, but this stitches up really quickly, and I'm hoping to get this part done by the end of tomorrow, certainly by the end of this week, so I'm going to focus on getting that part 3 done. But I really love the colours in this. It's inspired by the Mandela, I don't know how you pronounce it, designs, but these are the nostrils of the llama, and then this part is the eyes, which sort of give it away. But yeah, looking forward to getting this out a bit later today. So it's a sal. Sorry, I'm just popping them all on the floor for me to tidy up later. Now Whip Go drew my spring rabbit, but also Sally's squirrel. So if I show you the spring rabbit, now spring rabbit is going to look like that when complete. The designer is Eva Rosenstan. She doesn't name her charts, but I christened it Spring Rabbit. And I've got quite far on this one. So here they are. I don't know, boy or a girl. But you can see that I finished the first daffodil there, and I've been working more on the foliage here. I've got a bit more grass to put behind the daffodil before I do the outline, which I'm looking forward to doing at some point. But absolutely love this design, and so really close to finishing. Got some more grass here, another daffodil, 2 more snowdrops. So maybe it's probably about the same amount of work as it is there on this side. If we hold them up together, you can sort of like see that not too much to do, but probably enough to keep me busy for probably a week on that one. So I'm hoping to get back to that one in May as well. Okay, so yes, so I do love that one. So that one I think is another finish on the horizon. The other Whip Go call was Sally's Squirrel, which I've got in this whip bag, or project bag as some people call them, or I don't know, yeah, but it's just a bag. This is from Not Another Whip Bag, and that's why I call them whip bags, is because it was the first sort of design I'd come across of these gorgeous bags to store your cross stitching projects in. And in here I have Sally's Squirrel. Excuse the rustling, but I do have the image on the kit. This is by Gecko Rouge, and it was their sale in 2015. Yes, I know it's that long, but this is of a squirrel named Sally Squirrel, and this one is on 25 count magic guide, and I believe the threads all provided by Gecko Rouge are DMC, and you can see from this I park my threads, hence all of the hanging threads, so please excuse that. But I'm made good progress. Here she's currently at 71% through, so there is a fair amount to do. I think there's 3 more rows. I'm using the Royal Rose method for this design, but I just think she's so cute, so cute. And the next row will be, she's carrying an acorn, but the leaves are going to take a lot of effort. They're very confetti heavy, but the last time I was struggling with the white, but I dug out my correct needle, and I managed to finish off most of her tummy. So the next time I'll finish off the stomach area, the chest area, and I think that's all of sort of cream gone, apart from maybe the odd ninja stitch or a stitch which is just seemingly just somewhere where you wouldn't expect it, and it just appears in those leaves. But that's not going to be a finish for this year, quite clearly. But on my Whip Guard Go board, it does appear another couple of times, so it will come out again a couple of times this year. So I'm looking forward to that. Right. And another sort of impromptu sal, informal sal, is Hello Holly by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I say it was an impromptu or informal sal is because my friend Manx Kathy, she's over on Instagram only, not got a FlossTube, and we decided to split this design into 12 parts and stitch 1 part a month. Again, I fell behind on this in March, and also this tree trunk took a lot of stitching, so it was probably naive of me to split that to only have the trunk. So basically this part up here was part 1, the trunk and these berries and up to these leaves here, and all of the trunk, including this little tuft of grass, were all part 2. And I've started on part 3, which is this bauble, which is just emerging there, and the snowflake was part 2, so, and a couple of these leaves also part 3. So I'm hoping to catch up a little bit. So that's January and February. I'm working on March's section. I'm hoping to catch up this month as much as possible. Yeah, so sorry Kathy, I've got so far behind, but that's always the case between us. So yeah, really pleased with how that's looking. This Grime Guard is by Stitch Mania Stash, and it's this is stitched on 14 count green Ada by Zweigart, and the needle minder is also by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It's not actually one paired up with this design, but I thought, oh, it's a snowflake, it's a bit Christmas, so it's more of a festive feel, this one. So it's got a polar bear, a penguin, it's got Santa's face, and it's also down here, it's got a snowman's going to be here, and a sleigh is going to be along here. So that's Hello Holly. And I really like this because every time you do a little motif, you feel like it's like a mini finish. So yeah, I'm hoping to stitch a lot more on that this month. And that one is housed in this whip bag, which is a small square one, but this gorgeous snowmen, snow women, snow people, and it's got a bit of shimmer on. I don't know if you can sort of, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but that's beautiful. And that's also by Stitch Mania Stash. I just fell in love with this fabric, and I've got a much larger whip bag as well, and excuse all the threads, I've just been really lazy and not sorted them out. Yeah, so that was really pleasing. So then so there were my 2 whip goes. I did have square 13, which was to complete my spring tree by Bothy Threads. However, I can't find it. It's just to put the beads on it, but I shall be doing some sorting out of my stash, as I mentioned before. So I should be sorting through that and just trying to find it. And once I do, I'll be washing, ironing it, and then putting those pesky beads on, because I don't enjoy doing the beads. So I next spun the wheel, and I got Lakeside Village, which is by Dimensions. It's the gold collection, and absolutely gorgeous design. Yeah, it's just bright and cheery, and yeah, absolutely love it. I'm so pleased that this came out. Yeah, so I'm just over halfway, and this is what it looks like currently. Basically, the last time I was stitching it, I was getting bogged down in all of this blue, so I decided to go and start on the next lot of houses. So I've done a little bit there, so it was only one sort of session on an evening. That's all I managed to get on it. However, my plan is that now Made to Create is complete, I'm going to add this on the Whipgo board where Made to Create was previously. So it's going to come out again at least 2 times this year, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm really excited, and this really just needs to be completed. I can't remember exactly. Oh, my little boys just stood in the door, and I just like, what was that? And it just, you know, when your heart just jumps out of your chest. I was a bit frightened, but he's probably going to find that absolutely hilarious. But there you go. Now I've got somebody viewing. He's desperate to be involved in the videos, but I just want to protect him as much as possible, and not show his image to the general public for obvious reasons, but that's my personal preference. And finally, for the whips for this month, I have got some haul, and before I show you my target piece, I'm going to tell you about a UFO that I had, an unfinished object. I was looking down my list of current whips, and I was just like, I'm not in love with this design anymore. So I'll show a picture up here of what it was. It didn't have it was by a company, Design Works. Didn't have a name. I called it Snowy Friends, but I just didn't like it. It was white 14 count Ada, and I was stitching a lot of white on white, which I just didn't like. Sorry, there's noise going on next door. I hope you can't hear that. And yeah, so Snowy Friends, I just decided that I was going to pass that on to somebody else that would love it more than I was doing. So that means I've got another whip down off my list. So I've gone from 24 whips to 22 whips, which is actually quite nice. I feel more content. I'd ideally like to get it under 20, so we'll see how we go on that. So yeah, so bye bye snowy friends, and that's been passed on to somebody through Vinted, so I hope that person thoroughly enjoys stitching it and enjoying that kit. So my focus piece is Mario pose, and this is what it looked like previously, and this is what it looks like now. Now this is stitched on 25 count easy grid by Zygarde, and I just love how this is coming on. I've now finished the glove, done a bit of background, and exciting, I've got onto Mario's face. It's just sort of like this row is just going to really start to bring him to life, and the row below that will be his eyes, which is really super exciting. So Mario is currently at 19.82%, which is really exciting. I'm nearly at the 20% mark, so that will be a massive milestone, which I'm going to hit in May. So I'm currently stitching this every weekend as part of the football stitching challenge by the Yorkshire Stitcher. She's on FlossTube as well. No, she's on Instagram, sorry. And she's posting almost on a daily basis, so go and check her out. Super exciting. Yeah, so this is my target piece, and this is being stitched for my son, who's been cheeky, and you probably will have heard in the background him opening the door and wanting to get involved, but yeah, he has to be patient just for a little bit longer. So I'm aiming to finish this before the end of 2029, and my Stitch Pal is currently saying January 2030, so I need to get some stitches in him today. And I've got this fabulous whip bag just as I was planning to start Mario. This came up on Turtle Bay Stitchings, and yeah, how gorgeous is that, with Mario and Luigi pattern. It just had to be, so I couldn't not get that one. Now, plans for next month, well, this month, so May. I am not doing traditional Mania this year. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my twist in terms of May have to finish it, Sal. So May have to finish it month, or Mania. So May have to finish it. So the two designs which I've earmarked, 2/3, are the Spring Rabbit, which you've seen that's very close to a finish. Also the Melica stitches, Melica Designs, that's the Melica Designs Sal, which is really close to, well, it's about halfway. I'm hoping I can do that. But the other one, which I think will almost be complete, to be honest, I think this just needs a couple of days stitching to really get it done. It's very, very close to a finish. Is my bookshelf from 2023. So I started stitching this on the 1st of January 2024, and this is a record of the types of books that I read in 2023. As you can see, there's all the different names there. I've got all the books on all of the bookshelves apart from the bottom one. So I've got some more books to put there, and I just need some more back stitching, and I need some back stitching around the edges of the actual shelves, so around sort of like the brown areas. But what I also want to do is find some numbering and put 2023 in the area below here, just to commemorate that year. So I've been enjoying that. Like I say, it's really close to a finish. And yeah, so I'm hoping to have more than one finish this month. So that's really exciting. Now the other number that was, the numbers that were called for Whip Go actually called for the bookshelf, which is handy because I want to finish that. But it also called for Beacon Ridge. Now I haven't pulled Beacon Ridge out. I pulled out my frogs, which was a bit wrong. So Beacon Ridge is a picture there of what it's going to look like and where it is currently. That's currently at 10.1% of the way through. You wouldn't think so to look at it because it is just sky. But I'm hoping that another sort of fair few days on that, I'll get across to something a bit more interesting, like the top of the lighthouse. So that would be really good. And to do some plans for next month. So to do that, to do the Whip Go, to do that, but also I have spun my wheel, which I'll insert in the video now. And it's come back and just, it's escaped my mind of what's been called. Should have checked that before I filmed this. I'll put the names down here. What's been called. Oh, it's going to be like finding out again once I finish this video. So, and I've got some haul to show you, which is really exciting. I actually went a bit crazy, but so much so that my husband said, "You want a spending ban?" Right. First thing is that when I was at my crafting group, there was somebody that had bought their late wife's crafting collection to sort of like sell off, so I picked up this sort of pink trim just because I haven't got any of this wiggly, there's probably a formal name for it, but this wiggly sort of like trim, and I just thought that'd be really useful for when I'm fully finishing my projects. But I also picked up, and this is going to be crinkly, this little bag of just odds and ends. You can probably see on this side, I mainly picked it up for these little reels, which I thought would be really cute once they'd got some thread on it. But I also like these big chunky lollipops, which I think would be lovely for either my cards or when I'm fully finishing designs. There's probably some beads and things that I probably won't use, and I'll probably pass those on, including the little ribbon, although there again it might come in for my finishing. So that's really useful. So that was really, I bought some other papers and some envelopes, but I didn't think you'd be interested in that as well. Probably my biggest purchase, my first purchase, to Pip and Chip. Now these aren't being marketed anymore. I don't know if they've still got any stock left, because basically these were done with bothy threads symbols, and basically bothies didn't like this, and they're like this, so they're having to stop marketing them publicly. So they are purple FlossTubes. If I get some out so you can see. So these the first sort of FlossTubes I've purchased, but I just thought they're going to be gorgeous, and I do have a design in mind. I don't own it, but for these to be used on. So they're really sturdy, and I'm looking forward to using those. So there's 36 in there. So that's cover all of the symbols which Bothy use, which is going to be really useful. I'm really excited about using those. I've not used FlossTubes before. I've always thought, oh, you've got to write their names on, and then how are you going to use them again in the future? But hopefully this will introduce me to that, and yeah, that would be exciting. Other things that I bought is I ordered a hoop. I also got some needles, and that was from Stitcher. I just wanted another nudge hoop this size because it is my favourite size, which is a number 3 size one, just so that I can have both my cells on the hoop at a time, plus one other for when my wheel spins something, and I can just put the design in there. And the last piece of haul is, I asked for brown speckled. It's not quite brown, it's more of a blue, to be honest. This is from Bothy Threads, the Rendale design fabric. It's even weave, 28 count even weave. Sorry about the glare, I don't know. Yeah, that's better. See the flicks there. This is for a design I saw in the world of cross stitching. It's on the cover page of a tabby cat, and it just reminded me so much of my cat Peggy, who died in November, and I just thought I'd do a memorial piece for her. So that's the plan for that one. Right, I just wanted to, before I go, I wanted to thank all of you FlossTubers out there for doing what you do. You've really kept me going this past month. I've been going through a really tough time personally, and putting you on and for you to talk about and share with all of the lovely things that you've been doing, it's really meant the world to me and really kept me going. So thank you to all of you. Really too long to list, but internationally you've got Mrs. Faraway Stitches, Lainey Stitches, Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and Adelaide Stitching. Amazing projects there, and of course those in the UK, Stitching with my Little Teresa Stitches. Yeah, so there's like I said, there's too many to name. Jessica Stitching. I'll try and list them all and tag them all below. Yeah, like I said, there's been a lot, and I've tried to start new ones. Adelaide Stitching, that was a completely new one for me. So thank you to everybody, and yeah, I did go on my stitching day, which was just lovely to be surrounded by other people that were cross stitching and sharing my passion. So that was really good, and I'm hoping to do another one in July. Sorry. So have a fantastic May, whatever you're doing, whatever your mania plans are or not, and happy stitching.